But when I met Chris, I could tell you that it was like I mean, I met so many people at Sirius XM, but it really was actually like meeting a rock star or something, but truly because of the fact that for Will Cow and like Bins, the other producer, like we spent a couple years really covering Benghazi hard, and I really hated the way that the mainstream media covered it, not even knowing these guys. Um, I just remember how poorly it was. I do remember the original blaming of it on a YouTube video, and then that guy being sent to prison and like the crazy reaction of it. So yeah, it was really. I remember just meeting you and be like, "Holy shit, this is one of the guys who was actually there." So
Is that
yeah,
when we did the picture with the freaking Nerf guns
no, that was probably the second or third time he came in, because the
All
first time he came in, I'm sure he just shook your hand and was like, "Oh, it's an honor to meet you," which it truly
right.
was. So, yeah, I mean, it's great to reflect on this all these years later. As horrible as an incident as it was, it's important that people don't forget, and also to keep learning why we were there, why were we there? It's kind of I think I tweeted it to you a while back, but like there's a lot of accounts who, and I don't know if this would be considered propaganda, but tweet about like, at least according to them, like all the great things Gaddafi did for Libya, and the idea that like he wanted every Libyan to own a home and that he was having his own bank, and like that there's no reason America should have been
No,
involved
there
there.
was.
I don't
We
know if you
do.
would go
No,
that far to say he was a great leader. I know a lot of Africans do consider him a great leader, or did consider him a great leader, but
brother, that's not propaganda. That's God honest truth. There's no reason. We were there to destabilize the region. That was an Obama foreign policy, man. That's a Valerie Jarrett. That's Muslim Brotherhood. We got to back them. They're going to stabilize the region. We're going to put them in power. And like any other country we've been into, we always go for minerals. It doesn't matter who it is. And for them to say, we're not going for minerals, we're not going for oil, we're not going for the gold, we're not going for the weapons, bullshit. Which it don't matter which president's in power. That's part of anything we go into a country. But I,
dude, and the way Gaddafi died, which is not talked about, and I mean,
No, they drug him out
not
of a pipe, a irrigation pipe, and fucking sodomized him with their fucking AK-47s. That's the Muslim extremist way, man. Matt,
yeah.
can you validate
Yeah.
that for me?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's
Well, and on that note, where you hear something like that, and you're like, yeah, that's what happens.
or
You know, the same thing, like we're all laughing, and Chris, you're like, oh, you don't remember me, for shit. And it's like, no, it's because the caliber of people that we trained with and worked with, and then you hear something bad going on in the world, and then I know exactly how I probably would have reacted to that. And someone said, "Hey, Toronto was there," and you're like, "Okay, and."
but that's why I'm laughing, because that's normal. I mean,
Because that's what we do, or not me, but that's what folks do in our community. They go to where the trouble's at, and then when there's trouble, guys are like, "Yeah, and what happened? Okay, cool. That's what we do."
Thanks for checking out Battle Line Podcast. This is just a smaller clip from our latest episode, which you can check out in its entirety by clicking here. While you're watching, be sure to hit the subscribe button and thumbs up the video to show your support. Now, if you'd really like to help us out, click the thanks button below to make a donation. It goes directly to us in keeping Battle Line Podcast going.